Just thinking back, like some of your favorite memories or conversations or moments that have happened over either getting coffee or going to a coffee shop with that person. And so I always have the one that pops up, and I was joking about this with you earlier, um, and I always tell Mimi about it, but my first memory of coffee, and I talk about this all the time, is being at Mimi and Papa's for Christmas or Thanksgiving. And if we got up early enough when the adults were all awake, the kids could come down and like sit on Mimi's little stools, and she would make us a cup of coffee, which had no coffee in it. It literally was just milk and maybe
Yeah.
a little vanilla and then a dash of coffee. But I just remember that like feeling like you were part of the adults because everyone else was drinking coffee.
Yeah.
And that was my first thing where I was like, I enjoy coffee. And if I drink coffee, it almost taught me, I think, that like if I drink coffee, I can be part of like a group. And so from then, like the moment I could drive, I was early on being like, hey, do you want to go to a coffee shop? And I'd invite friends. None of my friends like coffee, but I'd invite them to a coffee shop because in my head, I was like, oh, that's how you do social gatherings.
I mean, I had this similar experience. My options that I had with mom and dad were mom's coffee that she gave me, which you're describing, which
Yeah.
was mainly milk,
Yeah.
or dad straight black. And I was like, well, I don't want that. So um, that was like an early memory. I think the memory that's in some ways like bigger for me was that, and you know this, but my dad coffee twice in the mornings. He got up at like 3:34 every morning, and then he had coffee at 4:30 ish, and that was with men that were much older than him. To me, as a young kid, they seemed so old. They were probably like honestly like 70s,
Yeah.
and there was a table in the kitchen of a restaurant that we used to go eat breakfast at, and the man that owned it would always make biscuits in the morning for biscuits and gravy, and there was a square table in the middle of that kitchen. It wasn't a huge kitchen, and there would be 5 or 6 men, and my dad was by far the youngest, that would sit and have coffee at 4:30 in the morning, and I wouldn't say a word. I would just go and listen.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking that I was in like some special, allowed to come to some special club, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that was pretty profound. That one in particular, because it was so, there was only a few people, they were so much older than me, and they had, all they did was laugh and tell stories. And for me, that had a really big effect. I don't think I even realized how much it did until I got a little older,
Yeah.
but that has stayed with me my whole life.
I can only imagine that that is good a like good event and example to set, especially for a kid to show, especially for men. And we talked about this a little bit earlier that like you can go with friends and just go get coffee. And I don't. This might be because I played rugby and they are slightly different rugby players. But when I was in college, I thought that socializing had to happen over playing rugby or drinking, like going
Yeah.
to a bar. And I do remember that our team chaplain, he would invite me and a couple other guys, and we would go to coffee shops. And it wasn't even religious. We would just like talk about like what was happening. He would invite us and buy us coffee. We liked free coffee, and he'd get us a cookie sometimes. But it was just a very useful example, and especially from, again, a guy and an older guy to like, hey, you can be friends this way. And it almost like taught us that, us group of 20, 21 year olds could go to coffee shops and we would start doing that without him. But I just remember thinking that that was a such a different example of like what I saw, and like even some of the men in my lives earlier when I was, rugby coaches or dads, like they would often socialize by like going to a pool and still drinking or whatever it was. It just was a very helpful example to realize like you can socialize and be friends outside of this. And
Yeah.
it seems really weird that I credit a coffee shop to being my first example of that, and I feel horrible saying that, but it almost was my aha moment of like, oh, this is cool and doable, and guys will do this too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had many moments like that where, like, like it's been so, I can think of so many memories where a friend is like, hey, can we go grab a cup of coffee? And what I know, I can tell what it means is like, I got something to say.
Uh-huh.
Like, would you come get a cup of coffee with me so I can say it?
Yeah.
And that I've probably had some of the most profound conversations with another person at coffee shops. And what's amazing about it is like sometimes they're like, things that could be difficult or vulnerable, but and you're in this, oh,
This
you know, big issue
commitment. Yeah.
with a bunch
With
of
people
people.
around you.
It
Yeah.
works. It just kind of works. I don't know. It doesn't feel awkward or anything.
No, it seems like you're almost supposed to have those conversations in that space or bubble. I mean, I go to coffee shops on my own and will read books, and I know that there's three or four conversations happening around me that are usually friends having, I catch like snippets, like fairly vulnerable,
Yeah.
deep conversations, and it is totally acceptable in those spaces.
Yeah, I know. I've never really thought about it that any with any real intention, but that has happened my whole life. It's been very, especially as like like I would say from like my 30s on, that's happened a ton.
Yeah.
And I was never one to say it's also harder. Like if you were to go to a bar, it's loud usually.
Yeah.
Like that's not as easy a conversation typically. Um, and coffee shops can be loud, but they're like loud at a level where like you can talk with
Yeah.
someone at a table, and it's actually the perfect level often. Like it's loud enough that not everyone can hear what you're saying, and then but it's not so loud that you can't really have a conversation. And then like the coffee piece, I think is really a key part. Again, it's like you have something to do with your hands. It's like you're sharing something together. It's like how they say breaking bread is kind of
Yeah.
the same.
I
And
don't know if I feel like I might have mentioned this to you before, but I have this, and I know there's a lot of things that do a similar thing, and I love food, and I think food does this as well, and we talked about like sharing a meal, but I think there's something grounding about coffee because you use so many of your senses as you're doing it that it almost helps like ground you and open up to make you more vulnerable because it grounds you, because you have the heat or the cold and you kind of feel it in your hands, you're tasting it, you can smell it, you can hear it as it's being brewed. And so I think there's something about food and drinks like coffee that does that. And so I do think it almost helps bring you into the moment, I guess, so that because I think we live in our heads so much. Like I think especially nowadays there's so much stuff going on around us on our phones, in our head, we're thinking about work, and having like all the senses going on in the moment almost helps bring you like to the present and be in the moment.
it's fascinating, like thinking about. I agree with you, and also when you were talking about like what are some moments that have meant something with coffee. I, I have a. I think I've probably told you this before. I don't know if I have, but I have a seemingly like a little bit more of a sense of smell than a lot of people do. And so like the coffee smell is really it does something to me, like immediately kind of go to another space, along with the taste. But there's so many. I give you for instance, like when I moved to Portland in 2004. I had probably never had like what I would consider, and I had tried, but I had never had what I consider like a moment with a cup of coffee where I like stopped everything and I was like, "What? It
Yeah.
can, it can be like this." I mean, because where I grew up, this, Duquesne, my mom and dad's coffee was watered down, and it was like gas station coffee, kind of. Not that I didn't like it. I mean, I still kind of like it. It's sort of this
It's a different
normal
it's
thing.
uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a different feeling.
yeah. It brings me back to a certain time. Um, but I remember like the first cup of coffee I had. I remember where I was. I will never forget it. It wasn't like that moment was that profound as far as like what I was doing in that moment. It was just that I just moved to this place and I had this cup of coffee and I never had that experience before. And something about that, when I think about when I first moved here and I was excited to move here and it meant a lot to me, um, I always think of that. It was the second day I was here, um, and it was the cup of coffee that I remember so much.
Yeah.
I really remember like almost everything about it. And I
Have
was with
you
John. We both had one, my wife, and it was like we were both like, I don't know, it just it played into this like beautiful moment for us. And it probably wouldn't have been the same if we hadn't had that cup of coffee together. I mean, that sounds kind of dramatic, but it really was what my experience was.
I no, and I was gonna ask, like, have you it and not that have you ever had a coffee experience like that, or does that one stand out in your mind? Even if it wasn't the best cup of coffee, is that like a special moment now?
Yeah, it's definitely a special moment. But I've had many other moments where I was like, um, I like stopped. It like made me stop in my tracks for a second, like and go, "Whoa, this is I don't know." Like, I love the taste of coffee,
Yeah.
so if it's a special cup, um, and I kind of I change. I'm not always it's not always the same. I've gone from like a medium roast to a dark roast to like now I'm back to like loving a medium roast.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. I like that it changes because I'm always changing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had so many moments where, I mean, what I remember of that moment is so connected to having a cup of coffee. It's actually kind of when I think about it, it sort of seems funny to me, but it's true.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have too, right?
Well, and that's what I was gonna. So I have this, and it's by no means the best cup of coffee I've ever had. And so I don't. It just is a weird. Third Avenue was a coffee shop in Knoxville. It's no longer there, but I have like the most fond memory of that coffee shop. There was a day that I went in there, and I had been going there regularly for a while, and they saw me coming in, and they had already made my coffee, and they'd heated up a cookie because that was my order when I went there.
I like that too, by the way, when they know what you normally.
And it was, but that moment was it like sticks out in my head because that coffee, I just remember sitting, and I was gonna be there for like half an hour. I ended up spending like 2 hours there, and I just was like hung out on the front porch and watched cars drive by. But it just sticks out in that coffee shop now. It was like this moment where I was like, "Oh, this is my place," and so I would start bringing people there. The owner one time had to run and go get some ice, and he was the only one there because somebody called in sick, and he was like, "Duke, I need you to go get me ice. Can you go get?" And so went and like ran and got ice for them while he watched the store. But it just is a funny like that is one of my top five coffees I've ever had. That moment, and I can promise you that this coffee shop in Knoxville, Tennessee, by no means was the best cup of coffee I've ever had, but it just sticks out in my head because of the moment almost.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was in the Bay Area previous to being here, and I mean, honestly, at that time, there really wasn't an amazing coffee shop, but there were decent ones. But I remember I went to this one regularly just because I liked this. Honestly, it sounds weird, but I liked the smell. I liked the creak of the floors.
Yeah.
Um, I liked that they knew who I was because I didn't know that many people there really at the time, and it made me feel okay. I don't know, like it kind of. I remember it's maybe a little dramatic, but it helped me like get through the day in a different way.
Yeah.
And I remember that coffee shop really well too. Even though the coffee didn't blow me away, but it was just something about it.
Yeah, and I do think people will always make fun of me. I have like categories when I tell people about coffee shops, and I'll be like, "Do you want
Okay, what kind
coffee?
do you?
Yeah, like do you want coffee or do you want a place to like go like do you want a coffee shop?" Because I have a lot of the places especially here in Nashville, that have better coffee, like aren't good coffee shop, or like
Yeah.
they don't feel like safe. Uh,
Yeah.
Safe spaces is now like an overused term, I think sometimes, but like it's not a safe space almost.
I have a funny criteria. You have to have like a super comfortable sofa before I would consider you like a space where I want to hang out.
I 1,000% agree. I also get bothered if everything, I don't want it to be new. And I don't
Yeah.
want it to be like dirty, but
Weathered.
yes, like so many coffee shops are so like clean and clinical now,
Yeah.
and some of them have great coffee, and like the way they do pour overs specifically, I've had some great pour overs from a lot of those places.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like coffee to me, because coffee to me should be like warm and comfortable almost, and so it doesn't give me the same
Yeah.
like vibe or feelings when I go to those places versus the place with the creaky floor and the couch that might have like, a dent in it from where people sit, but like I like it kind of.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. I have places where I'm like, okay, this would be an amazing cup of coffee, but I'm in and out. Like
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't mean that much to me other than the coffee's really good.
Yeah.
But where I'll go over and over again is the place that like kind of meets me in the middle, where it's like a good experience and the coffee's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, here in Portland, like it's kind of hard not to
I was
get
about
good
to
coffee.
say you're spoiled. You're spoiled in Portland a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
you have to work hard to get a bad cup of coffee.
yeah,
But there are different levels of like, um, and I've talked about this a ton because space matters so much to me. There's so many places that are, like you said, a little cold. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not hang out in that place. And I love a little bit of, I don't know, like it feels real when things are a little askew and there's a ding here and there. And I don't know, I like that.